So, hi everyone. My name is Zhanna, and I am a holistic sex and intimacy coach and Tantra educator located in Boston, Massachusetts. I do work with clients all over the world, though, online, and sometimes people travel to me. And I'll tell you more about the formats that I offer to my clients. And by the way, my clients are, yes, primarily couples, more specific couples in a committed relationship who want to create intimacy that works, that is long lasting. But also individuals who are inspired to have this type of intimacy with their future partner and sometimes even with themselves, because it always starts with us, right? If we want to have a healthy relationship, healthy intimate relationship, we need to start with ourselves. All right. So what is intimacy? And if you have a partner for this presentation, just turn to your partner and say, yeah, what is it? If you are alone or you are single yet, then and inspired to be in a relationship, maybe write it down or just start thinking about it. What is intimacy for me? What comes up for me when I hear the word intimacy? All right. And what I hear from people, what I see around me, quite often the first thing that comes to mind is physical intimacy, sex. And the way I approach, and the modalities that I use, and the mindset that is behind of it, is that we approach intimacy in a holistic way, in a more encompassing way, which is we do not really separate the physical aspect of intimacy from emotional, and for some people, a spiritual or energetic. So that's one thing. And that is actually very much in line with a tantric approach to sexuality, which I'll tell you a little bit about later. So what is flourishing intimacy? And that is the name of my business. And that is something that came to me and feels very organic. Flourishing intimacy is a physical and emotional intimacy that just keeps getting better and better. Yes, it is possible. It is possible. The analogy can be like growing a garden, right? With care, with enough care, with sun, with taking care of the soil. It can grow better and better, more and more beautiful, right? For some people, the analogy with a wine works better, though for me, it's the wine is just sitting there, right? Though there should be certain conditions, but there are things in life that can keep better and better. And intimacy between two people who are committed is one of the examples. Now, would the garden grow beautiful, start growing and continue growing just by itself? Sometimes with the right conditions, right? But we are talking about this kind of a domestic garden, right? So in order to grow that, we do need skills, we do need awareness, we do need to know what is it that we need to do in order for this to thrive. So it was quite difficult for me to choose this presentation, 3 keys to flourish in intimacy. Right, this is the first time I'm doing it in this format, and it was hard to choose. What are the 3 keys or 3 the most important things that I believe, me as an intimacy coach who's been in practice for 8 years now, but this whole modality of this whole practice, this is who I am. I feel that what I am doing is the full expression of myself as a person. I used to teach yoga. I used to work as a therapist. I've been in academia, and right now bringing this all together in the holistic intimacy as a holistic intimacy coach for couples feels very natural to me. So I have a lot of tools from different modalities. And here are the three of them. Here are the three keys. But before I go into them, I want you to have a foundation. As an intimacy coach coming from a tantric perspective, I stand on a certain tradition, or rather a mindset. I don't want to use the word tradition because it's too big, and the mindset feels more appropriate. So the mindset about sexuality, where we do not separate physicality and emotional, energetic, and spiritual side. Where did it come from? So Tantra is much bigger than this. I'm taking just the aspect, just this aspect when it comes to sexuality. The word Tantra, instrument for expansion. What are we expanding? Connection, pleasure. We expanding awareness. If, again, the definition, if you look at the dictionary, Tantra is first of all practice. Tantra is yoga, meaning union, practice. And when it applies to sexuality, it's a practice of integrating spirituality and physical intimacy through a mindful and sensual approach to sexual activity, often focusing on prolonging pleasure and deepening connection. Isn't it perfect? So it existed in the ancient culture many, many years ago, thousands of years ago. It's not that common. What attracted me to a tantric approach is it's not that common. In the modern culture, sexuality is not seen like this. So what is the key, the first key? Practice of slowing down. Sensual approach where we are actually connected to our body, requires us to be connected to all five senses. And we cannot do that unless we are in a state of relaxation. Body is the slowest out of other layers on which we can connect, right? Let's say when we connect with our partner, it can be on a mental level, very quick, right? Talking, analyzing. On the heart level, which is slower, more gentle. But when it comes to body is the slowest to connect to, because we have to remove the thoughts. For many people, the feeling unsafe with a partner, or being in the anxiety mode. We have to also remove any fears around the heart. So it's not that the body is slow, it's the dropping down from head to the body takes some time. we do it by connecting to 5 senses. For example, right now, sitting wherever you're sitting, can you notice the smell around you? Can you connect to the sense of smell? Take a breath, relax your shoulders. Again, if you're with a partner, you can say it out loud. If there is no smell, can you remember any smell that that you like? The next one is hearing. Other than my voice, what can you hear in your environment? Does it occur as pleasant, neutral, or unpleasant to you? Again, take a few breaths. Now, vision. What can you see? And by the way, when we do this practice, the longer version at the beginning of almost every session, or I recommend it to do for couples before getting into anything intimate, conversation or touch. So can you see, even if you close eyes right now, can you see any light? Can you see any shape, any shapes? Can you see any colors? Just bring in awareness, right? So that was 3 senses. The next one is taste. Swallow or move your tongue inside of your mouth and notice if you can connect to any taste. Again, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. And then, can you remember any taste that you like? Few breaths again. And the next one would be tactile sense. Sitting here right now, can you notice the difference between your skin that is exposed to an air versus the skin that is covered by your clothes? Take a breath. Can you notice the most pleasant or comfortable sensations in your body versus the most uncomfortable, and notice if uncomfortable is louder? And then bring your attention to something that is neutral or comfortable. So that's a short version of what we do every time when we want to engage in conscious intimacy. And yes, someone asked, what about singles? Right? Yes, intimacy starts with you. If you, whoever practice this approach, whoever is paying attention to their relationship with their body, their heart, their mind, yes, but their intimate relationship with their body, they by default they become a potentially better lover, like to yourself, but to the future partner. Another small practice, so that's the key number 1, slowing down, meaning connecting to 5 senses, not 10, 5 senses. And it starts with connecting with your body through 5 senses, but also the environment. When I teach tantric approach, and I have one online class like this, tantric tools for conscious connection in your environment, for at home, we do talk about creating the environment based on 5 senses. Very important. Doesn't have to take a lot of time, but to check in and to create a little bit, maybe even ritualistic space. So let me find an object. If you sitting at the table like I'm doing right now, find any object that you can hold in your hands. I have this little decoration slash lipstick in the shape of Christmas decoration. So I will be touching this. And close your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And relax your shoulders. And first explore the object in a way that you would be exploring something that you've never seen before. You have no idea what you're holding in your hands. What is the texture? What is the weight? The temperature, the shape? And then continue slowing down your breathing. Relax your shoulders. Ideally, you want to put an object in front of you somewhere so your shoulders can be more relaxed. I'm just demonstrating you, right? Ideally, you want to lean back and see if you can start finding some pleasure in touching this object. So what feels good for your skin? Is there anything that you can find in touching this object that feels good for your skin? And at first, do not move the object, just move your hands, and maybe that will be your palms, the tips of your fingers, or maybe the back of your hands. I'm noticing that the texture is smooth, and that feels good for my hand, so we're only using hands. I'm curious how would it feel if I move it between my fingers. And then I want to find out how would it feel if I move the object, if you have a small object, right? And this is actually a little bit even better, like a little ticklish, but really pleasant. So the smoothness and the temperature really works. We have more nerve endings on our fingertips, our hands, than we have on our lips and genitals. And that's kind of mind-blowing, how little we use our hands, and you can continue or you can stop for actually getting pleasure. When we were children, if you grew up in a loving household, if you weren't under a lot of stress, weren't a lot of trauma, then notice how those children are naturally tactile, how they're taking their pleasure with their hands, especially toddlers, right? That they taste everything, they touch everything, and that is very natural and very healthy. And then with age, often we lose this capacity. We're so used to doing things with hands that we start losing capacity to actually take in the pleasure. And the same happens with our whole body. The skin is the largest organ, right? The skin, we're so used to doing things with our body versus absorbing, that it really too bad, because it affects our ability to be intimate and affects our ability to experience pleasure in a huge way. So that was the practice, and the practice that I just kind of showed you the glimpse of it is called Awakening Your Hands. It's a basic practice that developed by Betty Martin, who is a creator of the Wheel of Consent. Right, Tantra and practices of consent, somatic practices, those are the main modalities that I use in working with clients. So this is an amazing practice that is highly recommended for everyone to practice every day. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, shifting the way that you relate to pleasure, expanding your capacity. The key number 2 is separate giving and receiving. So here's the thing that I hear from my clients a lot. we want to be in a flow. We want to want at the same things. We want to, it's this want is of being a union, of feeling good, feeling great at the same time. It's very, very common, and nothing is wrong with that, except there is a risk of hiding. There is a risk of hiding behind this wanting and not expressing your needs. So the first thing that we do, we learn how to separate giving and receiving. And what does it mean, giving and receiving? Giving can be expressed in different ways. For example, when your partner is asking you to touch them, let's say give them a massage, that's clearly you doing the action and they're getting the benefits, right? That's a clear giving. But what if they would ask you to, may I touch your hair? It feels so nice. Who is it for? So the main question is, who is it for by intention? Giving is when I am doing the action or allowing them to do the action to me that is for their benefit. Does it mean I'm suffering? Does it mean I am sacrificing? No. That's a very important thing. I am giving with joy. I am giving with pleasure. It's just a different type of pleasure, right? And receiving is the capacity to take in, to receive. So now the little experiment, those are mostly coupled practices. But just kind of, if you're right-handed, take your right hand and touch your left hand. Just anyway, just a little rub your left hand just to get a sense. Okay. And now notice, bring your attention, your full attention to your left hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm doing it starting with my right hand giving, right? So bring your attention, your focus on your left hand. And now touch your left hand the way that feels good for your left hand, right? So maybe it's a squeeze, it's like really squeezing, pulling, whatever feels good, right? Don't think about the right, focus on the left. Or maybe it's something light. When I teach touch, we talk about 4 modalities of touch, like 4 elements in the nature, and that would be air, very light touch, water, like petting a cat, earth, squeezing or putting your weight on it, and fire would be anything that fast, right, brings the blood flow. So my left hand feels pretty good, and I noticed I needed a fire because my fingers were kind of cool, right? But now try this. So first of all, notice the difference, right? If you notice the difference between your left hand and right hand, right? So I feel like my left hand is more alive, right? But now focus on your right hand, and we're gonna do the same thing that will look almost the same, right? But bring your focus, your attention to your right hand. Relax your left and kind of forget about it for a minute. And now, with focus on the right hand, can you touch your left hand, trying to get to do something that would feel good for right one? Yes, I'm still moving my right hand and I'm not moving my left, but my focus is on my right. And I'm noticing immediately that this is something different that my right hand wants. So it's more like a comforting. I really feel it in my palm. It's more like I want to feel the connection, but not so much, maybe a little rubbing, but not so much moving. Try to find something that feels pleasurable for your right hand. That's what I want to do, kind of warm it up a little bit. And pause. And this is just the short example. By separating giving and receiving, we're creating a space where we can be more aware and we can actually connect to more pleasure. It also, when it comes to couples practices, because one thing is doing it on your hand or doing touching the object, but another one is with another human being, right? That other things start coming up. But this is the first step, right? So, but in the couples practice, it's especially important to have this awareness. Yes, things can flow, but to pause and to ask yourself, especially when we are kind of missing each other or bumping into each other, in this particular moment, am I giving or am I receiving? Is this for them by intention or is this for me? And then expand, and then expand. So I'm going to, so this 3-minute game is a key practice also from Betty Martin and the Wheel of Consent. And you will have this PDF. Let me check the messages. Yes, I will send the recording and I will be also PDF, but you will have to request a PDF. If you want it, I will send it to you. So just email me. 3-minute game, amazing game for dating, by the way. If you're single and you want to meet someone who is, and kind of test them up, test them a little bit for, okay, are they up to creating the relationship that are actually conscious and with the potential to go deeper. First question again is, how do you want me to touch me for 3 minutes? So the desire is coming from a person who is touching. How do I want to touch my left hand with my right hand if I want to feel, if my focus is on my right hand, right? And the second question is, how do you want me to touch you? That means I'm offering to touch you the way that you want. That is the second key, and that's crucial to have this awareness of, is this something when we are touching, when we are two people coming together to have some joyful experience, when we are touching in one, if we pause for a second, where is the direction of it, where the energy is going? I'm touching my partner. Where is my energy? Is my energy on him or her? Or is my energy is on my sensations? They touching me. Do I feel that they are doing it for me? And I'm relaxing in my body and I'm feeling that I can actually be connected and I don't have to worry about them? Or I feel that they are in their body, which also can be incredibly joyful, right? But in that case, my job, if you will be only just to relax, to surrender in a way, and to also express my boundaries if there is something that comes up that's uncomfortable. Absolutely. Does it make sense? I hope it does. And let's move on to the third key. which is creating polarity. And that is also tantric tool, but not necessary. It's really universal. I feel that this is not just an intimacy, but in order to have, someone said, in order to have attraction, we need a polarity, meaning we need to be different and complementary. In order to have love as a friendship, as a connection, we need to be to have commonality, right? And that's basically the secret of a happy long-term relationship. We want friendship and we want passion. So to create passion or to sustain passion, we need to be aware of the concept of polarity. And the most common kind of language we use is this feminine and masculine. But in different cultures, it can sound different. Yin and yang in Asian culture. In Tantra, specifically, they use these images of God and Goddess, Shiva and Shakti. But it's the same qualities, and the qualities are this feminine quality, which we all have, it's not gender related, is cool, watery, slow. The direction is inward, it's wide focused. We're talking about energy, right? Feminine energy. Receptive, creative, it expresses in feelings and emotions. And for masculine energy, it's fiery, fast, focused, projective. The direction is outgoing. It's about when we are goal oriented, we're very much in our masculine. Expresses in action, in doing, in planning, in structure. Right? So we all fluid. And when it comes to especially heterosexual relationship, when it comes to sensual relationship, sexual relationship, it's really important to be able to connect and to allow one of you to flow. In other words, if one of you is connecting to their feminine, another one, to create this polarity, needs to connect to their masculine, and vice versa. The practice that is very important, fun, pleasurable, and sometimes challenging that I teach is a tantric meditation. There are tons of different ways to do that. You always start with this basic one, where we are, what we're doing, we are connecting to our, let me see the time. Yep, we're good. Or to our masculine and our feminine. And by the way, if you're familiar with chakras, with the concept of chakras, which is energy centers in the body, according to this tradition, and yoga, tantra, again, it's yoga. It's one of the types of yoga, if you will. Different energy centers in the body have this different charge, sort of masculine, feminine, or more extroverted versus introverted. And if you take a typical woman and typical man, the heart chakra, which is in the center of the chest, for women would be extroverted, meaning the energy would flow more naturally and she will be more active in a way, more fiery from a heart. And it's introverted or more feminine for men. So again, heart chakra, extroverted, outgoing for women, introverted, inward for men. Genitals, the opposite. That's why in Tantra there is this, the tantric meditation, for example, all often focusing on women learning how to breathe out, so to say, or send energy from their heart, and men learning how to receive that. and it has to be done in a way that is safe for a man. And on a genital level, even if you're not in a sexual act, where you're just sitting together, you can use visualization for men practicing how to give from that area, sacral chakra, and for women practicing how to receive. You will have the link. So this is, as I said, the PDF is clickable. When you click on a link, it will direct you to one of the meditations that I recorded that you can practice with if you have a partner. So here we are. Intimacy is not a mystery, even though there is a mystical part of it. When we are in the flow, there is a mystery. When we know how to, when we allow ourselves with the right tools, with the right approach to go deeper, it can become a mystery. That's what Tantra is about. The ancient tantric practitioners, they used to use the sexual energy to connect to God, right? To connect to a God inside of us, but also to the universe. But it's a practice, right? This type of intimacy is a practice, just like yoga. Water your garden. That's the reminder of what I mentioned at the beginning. I think it's very useful. It's very useful to see intimacy, but also your own body as a garden. It needs a special care. We do use this also, especially in the tantric practices, when it comes to female sexuality, specifically female genitals. That's in the area of the sacral chakra, which is introverted. That is something that takes some time to flourish, right? For younger women, it really takes time. And what you can do as her partner is to continue nourishing and bringing the energy and make it safe and make it warm and make it sunny and so on, right? But the same, as I said, applies to a man's heart. And that, if we go in looking more wider, vice versa, very often males genitals needs the same approach, right? They need healing to happen in order to connect to their masculine. Same for women. Their heart needs to be healed to connect to this ability to pour out. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining. And what is next? If you're thinking, how can I explore this more? How can I grow more by myself or with my partner? Use this presentation to explore the resources that I mentioned. And you're welcome to work with me. The way I work with couples are both in person and online. The in-person program, my key program, using the word key again, is called Find Your Bliss. And that's a 3-day immersion for couples. And I reminding you, I'm located in Boston, Massachusetts, and my office is in Watertown. So how does it look like? It's 15 hours of coaching, very personal, very oriented, customized, I would say, right, for you. So couples come to me and spend 15 hours with me, and they have their homework or home play, home assignment in between. We spend full day together, then they go back to their hotel, they do some practices, they come back to me, spend half day with me, go back to their place, do some practices, and then we complete half day, and then we complete on a third day. that is also a format for someone who is either stuck or want to explore or want to know more. There is no nudity during the sessions. It's not the tantric massage, which I do teach. But when you are when we learn tantra, right, tantric massage is actually part of it, and the way we learn it is clothes on with some skin, and then you go to your space, and you have the opportunity to explore what you learned and take it further. And that's for couples only. For both couples and individuals, it's a 3 months program. Bi-weekly meetings, 2 hours or 90 minutes with home assignments in between. The workshops, if you're local, I invite you to explore the Tantra Date Night for Couples. It's a 3-hour experience, and it's once a month, so once in 2 months. The next one is coming up on May 26th, and it's half full already. So if you're interested, please join. We can only have 10 couples on a space. An online program, that is something that I started doing only last year. That's 8-week. You can check it, 8-week programs, the next one starting in the fall. So you can be on a waiting list. And that's an amazing way to learn this in a kind of light format and in the privacy of your own home. Schedule your discovery call today to learn more. That would be wonderful to connect. It's free. It's for someone who is considering working with me. And thank you so much, and check my website.